Hello and welcome to Across the Acres, a Beck's Hybrids podcast, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire each and every one of you by interviewing others who have a story or message to share. My name is David Ringer. I am your host, and I'm joined by my faithful companion, co-host, producer, engineer, man behind the board, Morgan Fitch.
Hello.
It's actually man beside the board.
Yeah, right now it's beside.
Yeah, so we really need to change that up.
We'll figure something out.
Well, while we're talking about things that could be dangerous, we also need to mention our guest.
Yes.
Equally dangerous, Mark Thomas, the one and only.
The one and only.
I've been looking forward to this moment for like 3 years because that's how long we've been doing it Across the Acres. And
Crazy.
They wouldn't let me have you on at first. And here's why. Let me be very clear. They said, Mark is too busy. And I said, I don't think Mark is too busy to have fun with us. So what do you think, Mark?
I think they were probably playing it safe and wanted to make sure they're well insured first. How about that?
Oh, see, the audience doesn't yet know that you are a constant cut up. And 82% of what you say is a joke, and you're just enjoying life.
I'm just a class clown.
Oh, man. But you make it fun for us.
Life is too short not to have a little bit of fun.
Amen.
That's true.
Oh, you just brighten everybody's day.
And all the stress and chaos. So, you work crazily for, after sitting in a chair for an hour, a couple hours, it's like, man, you just got to get up. So you get up, you go harass people, you get the blood pumping, and then you go back to work.
That's right.
Hey.
Have some fun, because why not? Life is short.
And I'm like an old pair of shoes. They just won't throw me out. They haven't fired me yet. So there you go. Life is good.
Well, and that brings up a key point here. We just had our Christmas party where we celebrated the fact that you've been here over 25 years. That's awesome. What an accomplishment.
Wild.
There you go. They haven't fired me yet. So
Doing something right.
When I started here, I was a 50th employee. And then now we're up over 1,000 employees full time.
To be fair, Mark is only 27.
Wow,
So we hired him at 2 years old.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
And we haven't talked about David needing his eyes checks very badly. So
I've got an appointment next week.
There you go.
We'll be able to get that prescription fixed and changed. But your title technically is
executive assistant
to
the CEO, or to Sonny Beck.
There we go. That's the key part, because you could be my executive assistant and no one would care. But you're the executive assistant to our CEO, Sonny Beck. That's a really cool job. How did you get that job?
Yeah.
So Sonny had been looking for an assistant, and I was born and raised in Atlanta.
Okay.
And got out of the military after 11 years, and I had worked for a couple of generals and with NATO on an admiral's staff. So it's just a right place, right time, and that's kind of how that ended up working.
This has been your only role at Beck's?
Been my only role at Beck's. So
wow.
When I first started, there was a 90-day probation period.
Mm-hmm.
But so during that time, I was able to work. I worked production, processing, fertilizer, drainage. I even detasked a little corn plant, bean plant. I worked everywhere, and even went out with sales. So during that first 90 days, so I got kind of the overall education, because I didn't have any agronomic background. I wasn't a farmer, etc. So that was just really meaningful and was great for my role of working directly for Sonny, because I learned the people and also learned the roles, which otherwise I certainly wouldn't have not. I'd have just been sitting at a desk. So
that is extremely important to have that background and to learn and know. That's super cool. You served in what branch of the military, though?
I was in the Navy.
Navy, and 11 years.
11 years, and I was out in California for a short, and then over in Italy and Belgium for almost 8 years. So
wow.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah,
it was an interesting. So they joined the military, see the world. I was actually very lucky and saw awful lot of it. So
very cool. Favorite place you'd go back to visit?
Rhodes, Greece.
Rhodes grease.
But if you've been to the Cayman Islands are pretty rough place to to go and
It's tough down there.
and hang. Just
yeah, it's rough.
It is.
Yeah, we're going to do an Across the Acres episode down there at some point. And when we do, Mark, would you like to go with us?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, maybe show us around.
Twist my arm.
Okay, very good. Maybe episode 2 with Mark Thomas.
Yeah, there you go.
Why not?
I'll let you figure that out.
Okay, I'll work on the logistics.
We can do it right on the beach.
Perfect. A little every time the waves crash.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, we're doing that. That's perfect.
I'm in.
But this role that you're in, obviously extremely important because Sonny is a very busy man. What's a day look like for you? Day in the life of Mark Thomas at Beck Hybrids.
Day in the life of Mark Thomas. Well, you always make you've always got a long list of things to do, and usually if you get one or two of those things, because you've got an agenda, and Sonny might have an agenda, or since you've been here so long, you've had so many different kind of roles, because you can imagine when started, Sonny had a completely different role and helping out with those roles. So you've learned an awful lot of things over that time that you tend to know a little about a lot of things. I've always claimed that I don't know a lot about any one thing, but I know a little about a lot of things. So that's just, and maybe I now know sometimes a lot about a few things. So there you go. And the role change over the years.
So you have had multiple roles at Beck's. It's just your title always stayed the same because as Sonny's role changed, really your role had to change.
Oh, absolutely. So Sonny used to be over all of production, and now we've got Jason Morehouse is our production manager, and Sonny used to be over processing and in inventory, and now you've got Jim Herr, who's over all of processing. But Sonny Beck used to do all that. That was back when we were quite a bit smaller.
Right.
So, and then as he's changed, he's given up one thing and picked up two. So you talk about one step forward, two steps back. That's pretty much it. So Sonny Beck has given up one thing and picked up two others. So he is just as busy now as he was, if not busier, when I first started, 26 years ago.
Wow. And he's not getting younger. That's incredible what he takes on. And we won't say his age, but it's north of 80.
It's north of 80. Yes, it is.
And that's incredible. When I'm north of 80, if I'm still here, it's probably on a back porch or a golf course.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they're going to let me run a company. They wouldn't let me run one now. I mean, you know what I mean, Mark? Am I crazy?
He'd rather be in a tractor.
Way much rather be in a tractor.
He is a farmer, but now gets to spends a big chunk of his time in the boardroom.
Yeah,
whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, and that's where we need him. Mm-hmm. We can run the tractors. So. Really? Well, they won't let you run. Will they let you run a tractor?
Probably not. And they probably shouldn't.
Okay.
Bruh, you know what? I've been here, 25 years?
Yeah.
They've never let me drive a tractor.
Not once?
No. I do not understand that. There is something wrong with it.
On?
So before
you figure that out.
Before I retire, I want to drive a tractor.
That's only fair.
My dream job, someday when I do retire, I want to mow.
Yeah.
I want to mow. Mow
nice
roadsides.
Rider.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. Life is good.
So Caleb Bruner, he's the guy in charge of that department. We'll make sure that you get on a mower, and maybe, just maybe, he'll let you on a tractor.
Dreams.
Right.
Dreams.
They can be accomplished. Bucket list for Mark. I love it. Backing up, we failed to talk about family for you. Talk to me. What's your family like?
I've got two kids. Both of them live in Lafayette. Okay. One lives in Lafayette, Louisiana, and the other one lives in Lafayette, Indiana. And
come on, what are the odds?
Yeah,
exactly. What's the odds? But he married a great. He was in the Army, got out, married a great gal, and her grandparents own a propane company down in southern Louisiana. And so he's a regular Hank Hill, sells propane accessories.
You bet.
And they love him to tears. So I don't know what he's done, either that or I guess maybe down. I won't insult anybody from down south. But no, he's a good kid, and my daughter, she's now with outside sales for a equipment rental company. So,
well, very good.
I've raised 2 productive members of society.
Good for you. They aren't taking away; they're adding to.
There you go.
Good
exactly. They're not in jail or anything else like that.
Well,
so.
hey,
that's a plus.
Yeah, that's a plus.
It's kind of the bar for parents, really. Just make sure they don't end up in jail and that they give back. Those are the 2 goals.
There you go.
I think we're going to make that. So,
and they spend an awful lot of time underneath my desk here at Beck's. That's for sure.
I bet they did. How old are they now?
One is 27, one's 24.
Okay.
So all I've got now is a dog.
Ooh.
Yeah, she turned 1 year old today. So
good for you.
There you go.
What kind?
A sheepadoodle.
Ooh. Who know what's a what?
A cross between a sheepdog and a poodle.
Oh my! What don't they cross with poodles these days?
That's true.
Well, I tell you what, she doesn't shed.
Nice.
And she's supposed to be hypoallergenic, and she's really pretty sweet, mellow, easygoing pup. But
nice.
Good.
Yeah, only gone through a couple pairs of shoes, so I figured I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
you're doing real good. And her name?
PJ.
Nice.
That I made it short so I can always remember it.
That's wise.
But she's got a couple other nicknames too. But we'll keep
Let
this.
me get the edit button
Yeah,
ready.
we'll keep it G-rated. So there you go.
Those are names that all dogs must have at some point in their life.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Rizzo's got them too. I know.
Yeah, and our other one, Pepper.
I forgot about Pepper. Yeah. See.
The older you get, the more expensive shoes you buy. Mm-hmm. So when they tend to chew those up, they're a little more expensive. So
you say things like bummer and darn it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, you.
Hey, stop that!
Stop it,
young doggy friend of mine.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
I want to rip your lips off
with lots of love.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my! And activities beyond the dog, and what do you do at home? What's a weekend look like for Mark?
R&R. You pick up sticks and mow the yard, and in the summertime it's boating.
Ooh!
Hey, I got the best kind of boat. I got a buddy with a boat.
That's right.
Nice.
There you go, buddy with a boat. You can't go wrong. And then you lay around and scratch in the wintertime because it's just cold and you don't want to go outside. So.
Amen.
Yep.
We're getting through the winter doldrums right now, and once those break, it'll be time to get back out and nudge the buddy and be like, "Hey, how's your boat doing?"
Time to go.
Yeah. Until then, we're passing time praying we don't go crazy. That's the winters for me anyway. There's always something to do. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I bet you I've got plenty of work I can find to do for back here, which sometimes you tend to do that after hours at home anyway. So.
Absolutely.
Keeps you out of trouble.
Yep. We don't punch in and out. We just keep working. Speaking of work, the executive assistant to our CEO, we said a day in the life, but talk to me about the volume of paper that is in your office for any employee that walks by. For those who are perhaps dealers or people who don't even work at Beck's, you got to know this about Mark.
Very organized, according to Bob Gordon.
Yeah. Well, I love Bob, but he's wrong. And
he sounded so sure about that at the Christmas party, didn't he?
Yeah. No. But the paper stacks on your desk, you're 5'9", 5'10". You could hide behind them standing up, Mark. It's impressive.
You know what? So maybe there's a method to my madness that I can do that.
Well, tell us more.
Even Scott. So even Scott has said that you've got all these piles of paper around here, but whenever I've walked in and asked you for something, you always produce it. So it's like some people have a filing system. Mm-hmm. I have a piling system. So I know where stuff is at in my piles. But yes, sometimes my days are pretty hectic.
Okay.
There's stuff going on. I'm the executive assistant role sometimes has a few other projects in with that executive assistant role that's maybe a little bit separate from Sonny, maybe special projects.
You bet.
So I stay busy quite a bit of the time. So there you go. So most people don't know, and I do have pretty high piles if we're doing this, and I always figure, if it causes an avalanche, maybe I'll get one of those Saint Bernards with a little whiskey barrel that'll come in and rescue me, and I'll just maybe hang out, start living under my desk.
There you go.
I'll slowly dig out.
It worked well for what Seinfeld episode was that? George lived under his desk at the Yankees office. He took naps under there, and he built like an alarm clock. That could be you, Mark. You would thrive.
Oh, I need to check out that episode. Maybe I get some. Maybe there's some pointers there.
There's some tips. But instead of a Saint Bernard, Morgan and I will come for you.
Yeah. With whiskey barrels around our necks.
Either that, or we'll get distracted by the whiskey and forget all about
that's
Mark.
also true.
There you go. Oh, well.
What were we supposed to do with this whiskey? I don't know. Let's just.
That's one less guy.
It's one less guy to share it with.
Three's a crowd, but
3 is.
I guess maybe I need to stash a bottle underneath in case you guys get lost on the way there. Right?
Yeah,
You want to play it safe. Any special projects that you can talk about? I know a lot of what you do has to be kept private, just with the nature of your job. But what kind of special projects do you do?
Oh, let's see. I deal a lot with our aviation. I deal a lot with our properties. So we've tended to grow just a little bit over those last several years, and maybe add a little bit to our property portfolio. Other companies and seed companies, they don't own a lot of the land that they farm, where Beck's owns the largest part of the land that they grow their corn acres on locally here. We do have acreages we've got a few thousand acres over in Illinois and some over a few thousand over in Ohio, but here's predominantly, and we use local farmers that will grow, the biggest chunk of our soybeans, but we do over in Iowa, around the Mount Pleasant area, we have a fair amount of farmers that grow seed corn for us and take it in there. But around here, we own the biggest chunk of our acres that we farm on. So,
and if Sonny comes in and says, "Hey, Mark, paint a picture for us here. I'm thinking about buying some acres in I don't know where," then you're the guy that gets to do some of the more detailed task work. Is that fair to say?
That is very fair to say, and we'll go out and do the research on it, and then if Sonny buys it, I've been in here long enough where he'll set the price, and we'll buy it, and then I do all the paperwork in between, and then he gets to sign on the bottom line at the end. So he gets the fun part at the front and the fun part at the end, and I get all the stuff in the middle. So, which can sometimes fun.
Yeah, in the middle.
Interesting.
There we go.
Interesting.
Now, if you had to, could you forge Sonny's name? Could you do his signature?
You know what? Absolutely not. He when I first started, he had mentioned that. I said I will never ever do that.
Yeah,
so
good choice.
Now DocuSign is a little bit of a different story. That works out very, very well in my favor at times. But
it could theoretically. Not mentioning that.
But I haven't bought anything more than a couple boats and a few four-wheelers. I got 3 or 4 residences everywhere. But no, I've never done anything like that and don't plan on it. So
that's probably wise.
That kind of kills the whole trust thing.
Yeah, that'd be a little hard on trust. Yeah. But his signature is well known only because you see it a lot. And even as employees, it's on all sorts of stuff. And it was funny because my first boss would be like, "Hey, don't be afraid while I'm gone. Sign whatever needs to get signed." And I'm looking at him and I'm like, "No, I'm good, bro. I love you. And I'm thankful you trust me. But it's a legal document. I'm good. I'm going to let you sign it when you get home from vacation. We'll be fine. It can wait."
There you go.
But those are the kind of strange requests you get when you're taking care of people. It's just you never know what they might ask you to do. Can you tell us the strangest thing Sonny has ever asked you to do?
Oh.
Probably can't tell us that.
So working with that, you've gotten all kinds of different requests. There's nothing that really pops into my head of any strange odd request that Sonny has made. So my first job description. So now we got these crazy long job descriptions. My first job description was 1, whatever Sonny asked me to do. 2 was, if in doubt, revert back to number 1. That was my whole job description. Bruh, that makes it so easy.
That's a good day.
Now I have no clue what my job description says. I just know what all I do, and it probably doesn't coincide with anything, but it looks fancy, and it's a couple pages, so.
Absolutely. Plus, if you were doing it wrong, you'd know about it. Sonny's a good communicator. And if you're doing it right, he's probably not saying anything.
Oh, well,
keep
there
doing
you
what
go.
you're doing. Right? Just keep going. Keep
And
plugging.
he hadn't fired me yet, so
That's
there
as
you
good
go.
a sign as any.
He doesn't yell very often.
No, he's not a yeller, is he?
No, he's not a yeller.
No.
Sometimes he might. Maybe it'd do me good if he yelled from time to time. But other than that, no, he's not a yeller. He's very, very down to earth.
The Sonny we don't perhaps get to see only because he's a busy guy and he's in the spot that he is with 1,000 employees. What would you share? Anything unique about him that it kind of sticks out to you? I don't know. You mentioned something earlier that I thought was hilarious. It has to do with, I don't know, footwear?
Oh, well, so let's see. I think the question was, what's something that most people don't know about Sonny? So when I first started working for Sonny, he always had work boots on. So Sonny's a farmer, would rather be out in a tractor, but now he doesn't wear work boots maybe once a year.
Okay.
And now his socks. Sonny Beck's has so many different pairs of socks. So Glenda buys him his socks. So he has got the coolest socks. I've told I've said that Glenda needs to start the customer rewards program. She needs to have a Glenda's Sock of the Month club for like a customer rewards type thing. So no, Sonny Beck's got the coolest socks. Me, I just got the old plain whitey tidy socks,
They're standby.
But Sonny's got the coolest socks. I mean, all kinds of different colors, stripes and checks, and I haven't seen anything with tractors or spacemen on them or anything like that. But yeah, he's got pretty cool socks.
Lively.
Oh, lively
socks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonny
Next time.
socks.
Perfect. See, you leave it to the marketing guy.
Yeah, there you go. Or let's see, Glenda's 12 months of socks or something like that.
An advent
Yes.
calendar.
Oh, perfect. There would be interest in that, I guarantee you.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, I'd sign up.
No question.
Sock of the Month club.
Yes. Which that's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's what they say.
Miss G's Sock of the Month Club. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Which that's the other thing. You've got some unique names for Glenda and Sonny. You call her Miss G.
Miss G, and then Sonny's just Sonny or Mr. B. So
Mr. B. Okay.
and then there's lots of other interesting nicknames for other employees throughout the company.
You're a nickname kind of guy, aren't you?
Well, if I have to tell you that I can remember faces, but sometimes I'm terrible with names, so it's much easier to go with nicknames.
Yeah.
Hey you, hey dude, how you doing?
Hey, guy.
Hey Checka, or something like that is much easier than damn, I can't remember your name.
And that happens to us all.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to remember names. I don't know why that is. Other people are really good at it, but I'm not.
Not me.
Yeah.
Oh, Sonny Beck is very good at remembering names.
He is.
Yes.
He is very good at remembering names. Some people have a niche for that.
Yes.
Others, kind of like me. Yeah, I can remember your face, but sometimes I have real issues with names. Yeah. So usually that we've got so many people. I've got a group that I work with a lot. So, I know them, but, there's people that, I don't work with you very often. I don't work with you very often. So there you go. It's just kind of a parting wave or, hey, how you doing? So.
Absolutely. And that's the other reason why we wanted you on Across the Acres, because Mark, we realize your influence over certain key people to get across the acres to the Caymans is important. So we're just using you. That's all this is.
I'm glad I'm good for something anyway.
We just wanted to be honest about it. We felt a little bad, but
just get there up front after,
Yeah. We're just trying to be honest. It's a key thing, that whole honesty piece.
Yeah.
It's
Integrity.
overrated. Yeah, there you go.
Hardest day on the job. If you reflect back over 25 plus years, what's
some of the hardest days on the job? So back in the beginning, you're younger and you do a job is the stress when you've got a bunch of irons in the fire, which, you know, with less people, you did more. Now we still do a lot more with less, but, you know, it was a stress factor. You know, you might have 6 or 7, 8 projects going on at the same time and trying to get them all done. That would be a stress, but as you get older, you don't let stress kind of eat you alive as much as what you used to. So back in the beginning, it was much more stressful. You know, sometimes I don't know, still you might want to break something or throw a stapler against the wall, but it's not as bad as what it used to be. But no, there used to be a lot of different projects. As you can imagine, you know, Sonny and being at the top of the company and lots of different things that he controls. Sometimes when he's gone, you gotta kind of collect all that. So it's an interesting behind the scenes job. So
not only is it an interesting behind the scenes job, but the variety of what you must be asked to do in a day, even now, even though it is more specialized. There is just so many irons in the fire going on.
It's you know, back to you tend to know a lot about a little about a lot of things instead of a lot about any one thing. So
you bet. Would you describe yourself as a delegator, or do you prefer to own the process?
Well, usually about the only person I get to delegate to is that guy I look at in the mirror in the morning. So, you know, I don't...
He doesn't listen with a hoot.
No, he doesn't. And he's not getting any better looking either.
Oh, what is up with that?
Yeah, just kind of keeps going downhill, gray hairs and the whole 9 yards. But no, and the delegation part, no, I don't have anybody that I delegate to, so I'm kind of a one man. So that makes it interesting when you try and go on vacation. So yeah, there you go.
What's a vacation?
Well, that's why I probably got about 18 weeks of it saved up. But I'll use that when I retire someday.
That's right.
There you go.
Now, you mentioned handling stress. What advice would you give our listeners if they're going through a time that is particularly stressful? How have you been able to deal with it better as you've matured?
You know, well, let's see. You know, you used to meditate, but, you know, you gotta think of what it's going to be there tomorrow. You get as much done as you possibly can, and sometimes you have to work later hours to get it done, but it's still going to be there tomorrow. It's still going to be there tomorrow, so don't let it eat you alive.
That's good advice. Mm-hmm. It is hard to remember in the moment, and I think back to my younger days on the job. It seemed like the world would end if I didn't, whatever it needed to be done that day. And then I woke up the next morning and the sun still rose in the east and set in the west, and we all survived.
We all survived.
Yeah. Thankfully, our jobs aren't mission critical. I haven't, done brain surgery lately or flown a plane or anything that's unbelievably critical. And so for those who do those things, thank you, by the way. But our jobs are different than that, and so we need to set it aside and go home and try to relax for at least a minute or two and come back and hit it again.
There you go.
Okay. What else do we need to know about Mark Thomas that we haven't touched on yet?
You know what? Mark Thomas does not like public speaking, so this is outside of my realm of enjoyment. But
you're doing great.
Been
you're
okay so
it.
far.
Yeah,
so
you're doing
crushing
there
it.
you go.
And again, the main reason I wanted our listening audience to meet you is because you're fascinating. You're just a great guy to hang out with and be around. And I don't get to do it much. When I do it, I love it. And I hear people talk about spending time with Mark around the office or whatever it is. And they're like, man, that guy's great. Hey, he's fun. I love that guy. I'm like, well, we're going to have to get him on Across the Acres.
I think most people, in a nice way, just say he's full of poo. So there you go.
They do say that on occasion, but I think it's meant in good fun. Just being transparent.
If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with BS, and life goes on. So I do a lot of baffling. Life is too short not to have a little bit of fun. So there you go. When I'm up out from behind my desk, there's a time when you're professional, and there's a time when you have fun. So if you can't have fun at work, where you spend sometimes the biggest part of your waking days or waking life, and in the beginning, it's just not any fun. So you got to have a little bit of fun, or I don't know, go out and try and shoot small woodland animals, I guess,
Yep.
or run them over with your Jeep or whatever.
To de-stress.
To de-stress.
To
Yeah,
de-stress.
there you go.
Right, absolutely. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this. Best Sonny Glenda story that you can share without getting fired.
Oh, Sonny and Glenda Beck. So they've been married over 60 years.
Wow.
And they are just the most down-to-earth couple. And I tell them that they're the only couple that can still make an old sailor blush.
Yes.
They are just you would never guess that they're north of 80, which is an excellent, good way to put it, and still down to earth, and they like to have fun.
Yep.
And still act like teenage kids sometimes. So
yeah, it is remarkable to spend time with them and how they treat others, and they're just so real, genuine, normal. I mean, they're like grandma and grandpa, just super cool people.
Yep.
She is Miss G is a super sweetheart, and Sonny's a great guy also. So very down to earth. They put their pants on or shoes on the same way everybody else does, and you'd never guess that have done as much as what they have done. And Beck's Sonny has put a multitude of hours. 16 hours. Back in the old days, 16 hours was just a regular day, 5 days a week, and a lot of times on Saturdays and part of Sundays. He would do, follow the day of the Sabbath. But, he's put a boatload of hours and still puts a boatload of hours in every day. So there you go. He's worked very, very hard to build Beck's and worked very, very hard for everything that he's gotten done.
Amen. His work ethic is hard to match.
It's unmatched.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've tried to follow. I can't really follow it either, but that's just the way he's always been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's impressive. It really is. Anything else I missed? Morgan, what I miss?
I think you covered it all. I know we don't work closely together, but every time you say hi to me is like a little bright spot of the day. So just a little heads up.
Well, thank you.
He's got a great smile.
Kind of go, the mahalo, bro.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right. I do have one last question. I failed to ask this, and I apologize. Best advice you've received, because you've worked in a lot of different countries, lived in different countries. You've worked a long time with Scott and Sonny both. In fact, you sit between them. Is that strategically so they don't fight? Is that what that's about?
That's strategic, but no, that was I used to sit where Megan does, which is right outside of Sonny's office.
Right.
And then the we figured that we had so much on our plates that he hired a new assistant to take care of scheduling her in his meetings and getting him ready for meetings. And then I kind of moved in between him and Scott. So yeah, I'm kind of the go-between, so to speak.
You bet. Best advice you've ever received.
Take life one day at a time. Is some of the best. And as I've grown older, what may be a major stressor today or something major today may change tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So take one day at a time. I guess one of the big things that I really can't say anything more than that as far as what has been told to me, or that's one thing I kind of live by, one day at a time.
You bet. Enjoy the day we have, because we're not promised tomorrow.
Seize the moment.
Amen.
As Warren Zevon once said, enjoy every sandwich.
There you go.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and if you don't, then try intermittent fasting. You'll enjoy a sandwich a lot more. Guaranteed. Just saying.
Yeah. Stop and smell the flowers, and you never know what the other person is going through. He might be having a bad day, so sometimes a little bit of teasing or a hi or hello and a smile will sometimes change their day, and you won't know how much of an impact you made. So treat everybody the way you would like to be treated. So
amen. Can't go wrong.
Nope.
Well, anything you'd like to add, Mark, before we let you go?
No, nope.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on. We aren't going to let you out of here without the Fun Fast 5. So if you're not familiar, I'm going to ask you 5 questions, either ors, and you just got to pick. So there's no wishy-washy, in the middle garbage.
So I should have watched this podcast before I came in.
So you're revealing that you haven't watched any of the 39 episodes that are out there, Mark? Is that what you're saying?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I have not watched any of the 39 episodes that are out there.
Perfect answer. Perfect. Don't worry, I haven't either. So if you're ready for the Fun Fast 5.
Bring it on.
Okay. Cherished or respected?
Respected.
Happy ending or sad ending?
Happy ending.
Mm-hmm. Stained clothes or wrinkled clothes?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I'd have to go wrinkled instead of stained.
Okay. Predictability or excitement?
Ooh, we got to have a little bit of excitement.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. And then last but not least, a speeding ticket or a parking ticket?
Oh, speeding ticket, man.
I'm going to assume I know why, but tell me why.
So let's see. So I was going down to see my son. This was probably it was probably about last March. So I was going down and was actually going to go pick up my puppy PJ, and another one that I was delivering up closer to Chicago. But anyway, so I was cruising along. It was in South Carolina because I was driving all the way down to Louisiana. And so I had my cruise control set, come up over the top of the hill. I was doing 85, had a cruise set at 85, cruised over the top of the hill. I saw him, he saw me. I just started, you tromp on the brakes, and I didn't even wait for him to turn his lights on. I just started pulling right over the side.
Yep.
So the guy was really, really nice and pulled me over, and I gave him everything. And then he said, "So where are you going?" I said, "Well, you want the short story or the long story?" He said, "Well, give me the short story." So I had stuff in the back of the car that was taken down to him. I'm cleaning out the garage for my son, blah, 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 blah. So he turned around and said, "Okay." And he was going back. He said, "I clocked you doing 85. I said, "Well, I can't argue with 85 because that's exactly what I have my cruise control set on." So, honesty was the best policy on that one because he came back through. He said, "Slow down." He said, "Here's a warning, and just drive safe." So it's like, sometimes honesty is the best policy. You catch that, policemen, they're just doing their job.
That's right.
You cannot. I was doing 85. I think the speed limit was 70. So, you got me dead to right. So
right. Busted.
You're busted. There's nothing you can do. He's doing his job. So
that's right.
That's one of the things. Be nice, and you get more flies with honey than what you do vinegar.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Every time.
So positivity.
I love
positivity is a good one.
Well, and a shout out to law enforcement. Thank you for what you do, and we apologize if we get a little aggravated when you pull us over. You're just trying to do your part, and whoever let Mark off the hook, thank you.
Yep. Love South Carolina.
Amen. Well, thanks again, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
Thrilled to have you on this episode, and thank you to all of our listeners for being on Across the Acres with us today. It's been a pleasure to have you along for the ride, where we hoped to connect, challenge, and inspire. Please tune in next time as we interview others who may have a story or message to share. And until then, we will catch you across the acres.